You weren't missing. You were sealed. It wasn't silence out of weakness. It was containment. Isolation imposed by something greater. Something that was preparing you. Today is May 14th, 2025. The sun aligns with Algol, the star of collapse and regeneration, and tomorrow, the 15th, that alignment closes. It's the end of the Algol Portal, the closure of an energetic cycle that kept you invisible, restrained, quiet. If you felt disconnected, dimmed, suspended in time lately, it wasn't rejection, it was protection. But now, that seal is breaking. Containment is ending. Energy is starting to flow again. And with it comes the question, are you ready to be seen? No more veils, no more shadows, no more hiding. Stay until the end of this video, because by then you'll understand why the silence was necessary, and why, after the 15th, you won't be able to hide anymore. You felt it. In the past few months, something in you pulled back, connections withered, opportunities vanished. Even your own energy seemed to switch to airplane mode. You tried to make sense of it. You forced movement. You tried to be seen, but nothing responded. And maybe you thought you were being forgotten, discarded, rejected, but the truth is different. You were being protected. During the opening of the Algol Portal, those carrying sensitive, transformative living energy needed to be silenced. Because the energy field was heavy, because exposure was risky, because you weren't ready yet to handle the impact of being seen. So life sealed you, made you disappear for a while to keep you whole. Isolation wasn't punishment, it was spiritual strategy. And now that the portal is closing, you're starting to feel it. Something in you is coming back, and it's not coming back the same. At first, it's subtle. You feel your mind sharpening, your body more present, your intuition nudging you again. You're still quiet, but inside, the engine's already running. The energy that was held back for weeks, maybe months, starts flowing like a dammed-up river finally released. First, an idea, then an unexpected invitation. A message comes in. A dream gets clearer. You're being called back to the surface. And it's scary, because part of you got used to the silence, to the safety of energetic anonymity, to the comfort of not being touched. But there's no more containment now. You will be seen. You will be felt. And the question is, will you let that energy move through you? Or will you try to control it again? Spoiler, there's no holding it back anymore. You always knew. Even when they tried to silence you, dim you, slow you down. Even when your presence was ignored, misunderstood, misused, you knew that one day the world would feel it. Not because you shout, but because your vibration can no longer fit in silence. With the closing of the Algol Portal, that begins to unfold. People start to notice you. Messages come in. Doors open. Conversations pop up out of nowhere. And with it comes a strange feeling. Why now? Why all at once? Because you were held back. Because now there's no way to hide you anymore. You'll walk into rooms and shift the energy. You'll say little and spark a lot. You'll notice different looks, some curious, others afraid, but all will feel it. And the question is, will you hold this presence or try to shrink again? The urgency grows. You can't ignore it anymore. You feel the call in your body, a rising heat, a returning focus, a clarity that stings. Algol is closing, and with it, the waiting period ends. You're being summoned. It's not a light choice, because stepping into the space that's yours is scary. It takes work. It pulls you out of the comfort zone of invisibility, but there's no more neutrality. If you don't take your place, someone else will. If you don't speak, Others will speak for you. If you don't act, you'll watch your own story being told by someone else. This is the moment when your energy needs to move. Even without a perfect plan, even with fear, even not knowing how it will be received, it's now. If you're feeling this calling inside, comment. I will take up my space. To remind yourself, this is the time. You went through all of this, believing silence was your only shield. And for a while, it was. Staying quiet protected you from judgment, from wrong energy, from burnout. But now, silence no longer serves you, because what will protect you from here on out is your solid presence, your clear energy, the no spoken with your body, the gaze that no longer looks down. You won't need to hide. You'll need to stand firm. You won't disappear anymore. You'll learn to stay without losing yourself. The energy of Algol trained you for this, to teach you how to be presence, not just reaction. Now, protection comes from what you hold, not what you avoid. And this way of showing up in the world will make many uncomfortable. But for you, it'll be non-negotiable. You're starting to get pulled back in. It's not fast, it's not gentle, but it's inevitable. The life that once felt paused starts to notice you again. People reach out. Dormant matters reawaken. Things that once wouldn't flow now show up. But something's different in you. You don't want to return the same way. You don't want to blend in out of loneliness. You don't want to accept invites just to fill a void, because you've felt the value of your own company, of being outside the noisy field, of hearing yourself in silence. Reconnection now needs discernment. You look at everything with more clarity. You ask yourself without rushing, does this strengthen me or dissolve me? Does this see me or use me? Does this move me or paralyze me in disguise? It's a new kind of presence, sharper, more selective. You've learned that you can come back, but only if you come back whole. Something is breaking inside you, and it's not because it went wrong. It's because you grew. The isolation of the Algol Portal didn't just silence you. It unraveled you, bit by bit, idea by idea, identity by identity. And now that the portal is closing, you're starting to see the pieces. They're not wreckage from failure. They're parts you've outgrown. That version of you who tolerated too much, who settled for too little, who sold yourself for scraps of acceptance. That version is gone, and what's left feels unfamiliar. You're in the in-between, between what has fallen and what hasn't yet emerged, and that takes courage. You have to face the ruins without running, without covering them up, without trying to rebuild on top. You have to leave space open, because the new only comes when the old truly dies. That discomfort you feel, it's grief for parts of you that aren't coming back. It took a while, but it's here. Clarity doesn't come as a ready-made answer. It comes as a snap, a feeling of, now I get it. No drama, no doubt. You start to see that all the confusion was just waiting for the right moment to be understood. Relationships take new shape. The past reorganizes itself. You see patterns you used to repeat, and now you won't tolerate them anymore. And this clarity, though freeing, hurts because it doesn't let you lie to yourself anymore. It shows where you still pretend, where you still push, where you still cling to what no longer aligns. But this inner light also gives you power, power to choose, power to direct. You can finally stop walking in circles. You can say no without guilt. You can say yes with roots. This is the light the portal's end brings. Not some magical enlightenment, but an inner beacon that says, this is the way. and the rest is just noise. You spent a long time saying what people wanted to hear, choosing words that wouldn't scare anyone, translating your truth into something easy to swallow. But now, you can't hide behind what's polite anymore, or what's convenient. Your expression has shifted. It no longer lives in your throat. It comes from the center of your chest. It moves through your whole body. You speak and feel. You write and vibrate. You stay silent, and still, you're heard. Because now, your presence speaks for you, and that's scary. Not for others, for you. You wonder, am I going too far? Will they understand? Will they stay? But the real question has changed. It's no longer will they, it's do I still want to explain who I am just to fit where I don't belong? Your expression isn't a performance anymore. It's a consequence, a ripple of everything you silenced for too long. You don't speak to please, you speak to exist, and those who can't handle it will drift away. But those who stay, they see you. Because now, you're not asking for permission. You're taking up space. You came back, but not like before. You don't want to sit at the same tables, be part of the same stories, fight for the same scraps of attention. Now you see it clearly. The space you once wanted to fit into was too small, too tight for who you've become. And that's okay. You don't have to fit. You have to build. This is the new phase. You're not returning to the world to be included. You're returning to leave a mark, to pave a way, to establish presence. It takes vigilance. It takes a stand. It takes knowing how to say yes with your soul and no with strength. There's no more room for inner confusion. The field now demands clarity. You might hesitate for a moment, but you can't back down because what you carry isn't just yours. It's part of something bigger, and that movement starts with you saying, I am here, and staying. You were sealed for protection, for necessity. The world couldn't access you. You needed to be hidden, preserved. Now the Algol Portal closes, and with it, the containment ends. The world is going to feel you. But more importantly, you're going to recognize yourself. No filter, no mask, no excuses. You'll look in the mirror and say, this is who I am, and this is how I show up. No more veils, no more layers between you and life. You've arrived, and now everything changes. If this journey spoke to you, leave your trace in the comments. It can be a word, just a period, or a silence that says it all. Because whoever crossed this portal doesn't need to scream anymore, just needs to be.